Shalom. I'd like to say Shalom, Ahab, Wa, Baraka. In other words, peace, love, and blessings. First and foremost, Kal Halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakah, Quadash. And double honors to the elder apostles, the prophets, and the teachers at GMS, bringing out the 100% truth for the last 30 years. Also, the disciples and the sincere Akiyawa Akwad, salutations. All right, let's get right into it. It's the Great Awakening. It is the Great Awakening. We've told you about it. We've been teaching it for years now, and it's finally happened. And no one can deny it. So, let's open up with the you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Okay? Let's go to the book of John, chapter 8 and 32, okay? Let's get in the Bible Hub. Let's get in the Bible Hub. Bible Hub's cool. It'll give you every translation. So, if you were to go to the Bible Hub and look up this verse, it gives you every single translation. Well, I guess that they carry. So they have all of them. We're going to go with the King James version, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So, and honestly, they all say pretty much the exact same thing. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So how are you being set free? Because they're finally telling us who we are. It's putting a lot of our people to rest mentally. We are the Hebrews. Putin said we're a Hebrew. Putin said we're the real Israelites. Putin said it. You know, it really pisses me off that the Edomite has to tell you for you to believe it still. It's just like, you talk about... It's just funny. I'm sorry, it's funny to me. Master, are we sick? No, I'm sick. Masters, we gonna die? No, you're not sick. You're the real Israelite. Master, we the real Israel. It's like, wake up, man. You're waiting for slave master to tell you the truth instead of your own people. That's why it's funny to me. But a lot of you are waking up, and it's a great thing. So let's get right into it. Today's class, that's what we're going to call this class. We're going to call this class the Great Awakening. Ezekiel chapter 32, KJV. Come on. Okay. All right. You know how it is, man. As soon as you turn, once on my book, once I start pulling out scriptures, for some reason it starts having problems. But that's all right. We got right to it today. Ezekiel chapter 32, starting from the top. And it came to pass in the 12th year, in the 12th month, in the first day of the month, that the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, take up a lamentation for Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and say unto him, Thou art like a young lion of the nations, and thou art as a whale in the sea. And thou camest forth with thy rivers, and troublest the waters with thy feet, and foundest their rivers, and foulest their rivers. Thus saith Yahweh, I will therefore spread out my net over thee with a company of many people, and they shall bring up thee in my net. Okay? And I'm not going to read for you. I want to break this 1 through 3 down. And what I want to do, though, like I like to do all the time. In fact, I'm going to get the NLT, but I'm going to get the actual NLT Bible. I have, not the NLT, but it's just about exactly the same. It's the Living Bible. It's this one. Sorry about the, there you go. It's the Living Bible. And it's paraphrased. So that's why you never see it get broke out, because it's only to help with certain scriptures. So these other Bibles are good for certain things, but they're not good for everything. So you can't just, and some of their breakdowns go off. So you've got to actually, I would say, stay away from the other Bibles until you're well studied. And I'm not like this great genius either, but I have been studying for years. So I want you guys to hear this though. This is beautiful. In the middle of February, the month of, I'm sorry, in mid-February of the 12th year of King Jehoiakim's captivity, this message came to me from Yahweh, son of dust. Dang. Woo. Mourn for Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and say to him, you think of yourself as a strong lion among the nations, but you are merely a crocodile along the banks of the Nile, making bubbles in muddy and muddying the streams. That's beautiful. So he thinks highly of himself, but he's really just not really doing anything. Just he's nothing. He thinks of himself to be this great figure, but he's really nothing. Let me prove it. Let me prove it. Verse 3. Yahweh says, I will send great army to catch you with my net. That's getting ready to happen. See, right now America thinks that they're untouchable. They literally the people running this country think that they're in a mafia movie, and they're literally going to make a movie about it after they're out of office, and they think it's great, like they're doing this great thing. This is so cool. We're the mafia of this time area. But honestly, the Most High said, I'm going to throw out a great army to catch you with my net. Now you got to remember, they're not just corrupt in this land, but in all other lands. So when the nations come over here to destroy America, do you think they care? Well, I'm one of the good ones, though. They don't. Because remember, when the government sent our troops over there and lied to all of us, and we believed them, because you got to be dumb to listen to the same lie over and over again and keep believing it. But that's what Stockholm Syndrome does to you. So we went over there and showed no mercy to people, remember? Our people, not my people, but I am a citizen of this place. So as a citizen, I have to now say that the people and we fund these governments and everything. So they're looking at us saying, we're going to kill you too, in other words. We're coming to get you. So the Lord says, I will send a great army to catch you with my net. I will haul you out and leave you stranded on the land to die. That's what this is saying, okay? And all the birds of heaven, let me read that. Let me read that. Let me read verse 4 in KJV real quick. Then I will leave thee upon the land. I will cast thee from upon the open fields. I will cause the fowls of heaven to remain upon thee. Remain upon thee. And I will fill the beast of the whole earth with thee. So he said the whole earth, they're going to fill their bellies with your dead carcass. So let me start at 3 again, and I'll read through 4 for you. So the Lord Yahweh says, I will send a great army to catch you with my net. I will haul you and leave you stranded on the land to die. And all the birds of heaven will light up upon you, and the wild animals of the whole earth will devour you until they are glutted and full. So they're just going to fill, like I just said, they're going to fill their bellies on you. So that's getting ready to happen. Now, why is that going to happen? That's the question of the night. Because I said this is the Great Awakening. So for all you other wicked nations and all of you, and that goes for you American citizen, wicked other nations and Edomites, guess what? The Most High is getting ready to deal with you. You don't believe me? Let's keep it scriptural though, because I can't just say that and not prove it. So we're going to do one of my favorite classes. We're going to have to go to Revelation chapter 11, starting at verse 8. Revelation. You know what? Yeah. Let's start at verse 7. Whoops. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. So that beast. Okay, we got to go into the bottomless pit real quick. First of all, when the beast got thrown into the bottomless pit, it was when the Roman Empire was struck and it was completely taken down for about 1,000 years. But they didn't really go all the way down. Because that's what the Renaissance is. So that beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit, that's the important part. That is talking about the Renaissance, the rebirth. And what is so the word Renaissance means rebirth. So what is it the rebirth of? I need to get the Black's Law dictionary out so I can show you guys. The Black's Law, all the laws in America right now, I would say 99% of, not these new weird ass laws, those are just good draconian laws, extra harsh laws on stupid things. But I want to say stupid things because really it's like they just starting to make crazy laws just to build their power and take away power from us. But the Black's Law book, going back to the point, is all Roman laws. So when there was a rebirth, the rebirth of the Roman Empire, and they re-implemented their whole system. And now we've got that new world order, and they're finishing the job. So now we have to go into Revelation. Let's start again. Now that we know that it was the European Empire that ascended out of that bottomless pit. And if you want to go to the word pit, it's funny because a bottomless pit, now masses of lands are known as pits. And a bottomless pit, a mass of land, so if there's like a big mass of land, like a continent, say this whole continent, Europe. Let's take all of the actual Edomite European countries that are together. Okay? Now, to not only make the point, but to prove the point and use the correct land for this, see, those guys, if you ever notice, they have to go to Ukraine to get their food. They have to go to America. They have to go to Africa. Because when a land has no natural resources, it's known as a bottomless pit. So where did the European Empire send out of? Europe. What are their natural resources? They have none. So what do? They go and take them from other countries. That's simple. So who ascended out of the bottomless pit? It was the Renaissance. And when the Renaissance, what happened during the Renaissance? Well, they made war against who? Them that they made war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. So who did they overcome and kill? So there was 1,000 years, which they call the dark ages, knights in shining armor, like black, knights, dark. It was called the Byzantine Empire. Also going into that, what everybody keeps getting into, I forget what it's called, but who cares? Anyway, it has nothing to do with us right now. But they had another name for it too, Byzantine Empire. There's also another empire within that, but they were all Israelites anyway. It's just We created all this stuff. We did it all. So, who are the two people? Because it shows that we ruled over them for 1,000 years during that Byzantine Empire. So let's read verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also the Lord was crucified. So, I want to go back to verse 4. These are the two olive trees, the two candlesticks standing before Yahweh in the earth. And so the two olive trees is the northern and the southern kingdom. That is who tormented them. That is who, so when we shall have finished our testimony, so let's read 6 too. So let's read 4 through 6. We have to now. Let's read 3. You know what, let's just start from the top. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood saying, Rise and measure the temple of Yahweh and the altar and them that worship therein. But the court which is out without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles. And the holy city shall they tread under foot 42 months. And I will give them power. I will give power to my 2 witnesses. That's what I was talking about, the 2 witnesses. So who are those 2 witnesses? And that goes back into the Byzantine Empire. Those because and during this time also, when King David and Solomon ruled, they ruled righteously. So these other nations they wanted us dead, for the lack of better terms. So and I will give power to my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,203 days, clothed in sackcloth. So if you think these garments are beautiful, these are actually our sackcloth right now. We don't have our beautiful garments. We're walking around with literally sackcloth on. So don't get it twisted. These are the 2 olive trees, the 2 candlesticks standing before Yahweh of the earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devour their enemies. And it's beautiful, because let's keep that spiritual. Because remember, the weapons of our war are spiritual, not carnal. So you got to understand that it's not saying that fire is actually shooting out of his mouth. It goes back into, if they're hungry, feed them. If they're thirsty, give them drink. Give them the basic knowledge and wisdom. And guess what? It devours their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in that manner be killed. So if you do something to us, the Most High is going to deal with you while we're teaching this word. It's that simple. We're His people. We're His employees. You try to stop that, we're doing His work. If you try to stop that, He put you there just so He could judge you. Just so you can get that judgment. And a hearty, good judgment you'll get. Now, let me keep going. So now that we know who the 2 olive trees are, northern and southern kingdoms, they witnessed, they prophesied, they went out clothed in sackcloth, so they were out the highways and the hedges, and they were preaching to the wind. They were compelling them to come in, that the house may be filled, right? So they did their job. And that was back then. You got to remember, every time a prophet is sent back into the earth, he goes back into his lot. So he goes back to what? Prophesying until he's removed. So, or the Most High comes and gets him, pursuant to Enoch and Elijah. So, or how about Melchizedek? Malak Tazadaq. I mean, all 3 of those people came and went without dying. But Malak Tazadaq wasn't born either, so he's a little step up from that. But anyway, again, let's get off the subject. So anyway, back to it. If any man hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devour their enemies. If any man I'm sorry, if any man, if any man hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devour their enemies. And if any man hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. So, that's beautiful too. You try to hurt us, that's going to be the way you go out. That's why the stumbling blocks are there. They're not for us. They're for us to know that it's a stumbling block. But they're for you to be taken out completely. Verse 6, these have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. And if you've got all 144,000 out there right now just prophesying the end, man, you guys are doomed, because we're putting it out into the atmosphere. We're putting it out into the ether. Every time we pray to the Most High, He's starting to hear us. He's starting to listen again. We're using the Hebrew again. So now that we're up to par on all that, let's read verse 7. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast ascendeth out of the bottomless pit, shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them. So after we've done everything we're supposed to, this after the Byzantine Empire, it comes to an end. This guy's going to come back into power, and he's going to take down the prophets. Now, how did they do that? They did it through slavery. They did it by scattering us to the four corners of the earth, because we ourselves know that we didn't keep the laws. So let's keep reading and find out if I'm telling the truth or not. So this is, remember, when they overcome them and they kill them. So how do they kill us? And this is beautiful. So when you look up the definition of kill, it's not always death. Now, yes, they were trying to actually physically, carnally kill us. They want us dead, but it's kind of hard to do to take out a whole entire nation of people, especially when the Most High said that we would outnumber the sands of the sea. So what were their other tactics? Let me show you. Let me give you a quick precept. What were their other tactics? So let's go into the book of Exodus, where all the tactics are, right there in chapter, I think it's 10, I think. And it's or maybe it's maybe it's, I know it's around here somewhere. Don't worry, I'll find it. Alright, let me just do it the easy way. Come, let us deal wisely with them. Come, let us deal wisely with them, that they not become a nation that grow. Okay, well, that's not their election. There it is. I'm going to get them both now. Dang. Alright, first we're going to get Exodus 1, and it's Exodus 1, not Exodus 10. My bad. So we're going to get Exodus 1 first, 8 through 11, then we're going to go to Psalms 83 and 4. So Exodus chapter 1, KJV. And then we'll get that. Doing that whole, it doesn't understand me. Okay, there it is. So, we're going to just go right to the point in verse 10. We're going to skip over 8 and 9. So, go to verse 10. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. And it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us. And so get them up out of the land. So they couldn't really kill us off. So what were they doing? They were dealing wisely with us. What are they doing now? Dealing wisely with us. What did they do at the end of the Byzantine Empire as they put us in slavery and slave camps? They would separate the children from the parents at like 3 years old. And they would keep the whole family separated. And then the ones that were around slave master would go and rape the man in front of the whole family, showing the woman that he had no power to protect them. They wanted us dead. So mentally, they have killed us. We have no culture. We have no language. We have no spirituality left. Our God has been turned into our enemy. Literally, they've painted the face of our God and it's their face as they beat, whip, and kill us for hundreds of years. And to the point where, let me get it. Let's get that too, right? Let's stop paraphrasing. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and let's get these curses. Let's get them. Because this is how it went down. I think it's like 50. I can't even find it. It's right here, though. Dang. Destroy, scatter the nations, trembling heart, falling eyes, day, night. Okay. Let me get this real quick. The one I want I can't find. And you shall wear a yoke of iron upon thy neck. And you shall wear a yoke of iron upon your neck until you've been destroyed. I'm moving around too fast, and I know it's in Deuteronomy. There it is. See, I started at 54, and it's in Deuteronomy chapter 28, 48. Deuteronomy chapter 28, KJV. Sorry about that, guys. For anybody that's watching, I apologize. Sometimes I get real excited because I really want to bring out this truth. So going back into it, so like I said, they weren't able to just kill us all off. So when they put us in slavery, what did they do? They mentally destroyed us completely, where we don't know our language, we don't know our heritage, we don't know our culture, we don't know our dietary, we don't even know how we used to dress. And then when you go into American history, our culture, our history literally starts at slavery. Oh, they were just chucking spears out in the middle of the jungle somewhere. We don't know what happened. But they were calling us Hebrews all the way up until the mid-1800s. So just letting you know your history. They even have postcards and ads calling us Hebrews, booze. Why do you think of that whole boo? They wouldn't call us Hebrews, they called us Hebrews. They knew that we were the Israelites. And then they took that knowledge away too. So let me get Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemy, which Yahweh shall send against thee. That sounds like after our testimony is done that they're going to come and kill us, right? And he's going to put us in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee. So he's going to put hardcore bondage, slavery on you until you've been destroyed. And there is a physical yoke of iron that they would put on your neck. pictures of the yoke of iron that they would use for slaves to keep them from running away through the forest. So I'm pretty sure you guys heard all of what I just said. So this yoke of iron was literally set on a slave. So it would make it, first of all, it's heavy, but, and I wouldn't be surprised if they had bells on it too, so it would be jingling and jangling. He can't reach it. It's around his neck. And I don't know about the bells. It just came to mind that that would be something that they would do. But it was you would get these things, and this one is, you would get caught. So what happens is, you would get caught with these right here in the trees, and you wouldn't be able to get away, and then they'd send the dogs out after you. So they had a physical yoke of iron upon these guys' neck. And what would happen is, after wearing this thing for a while, it would mentally destroy you. So you wouldn't run away any longer. So they physically put a yoke of iron on our necks until we were destroyed. Well, we'll keep that nigger from running away. First thing we'll do is put the yoke on him. We'll put the iron yoke on him. And I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Okay, going back into it. So now we know that they wanted us dead. Now we know how they tried to kill us. Right? We figured all that part out. So now I'm gonna let's keep going. Let's go back to the book of Revelation. We're jumping from all the way from Exodus to Revelation. That's beautiful, from the front to the back. Okay, so going back into Revelation chapter 11 and going back to verse we were at 7. We'll read 7 again. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them and shall cover them and kill them. So now we know what all of that is talking about. And we just got finished talking about slavery. Right? That they were going to put us in slavery. I didn't even get that. I can't believe that. So let's bring that back out, back to Deuteronomy. First, we got to get Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I speak unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. That's beautiful. We fulfilled this prophecy. And we still haven't been set free. So that no man shall buy you part, when you go into the real meaning of what that's saying. Let's start from the top. First of all, the word Egypt. So to get the definition of the word Egypt according to the Bible, you got to go to the book of Exodus chapter 20. And then you read verses 1 and 2 together. Exodus chapter 20 verses 1 and 2. And Yahweh spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord Yahweh, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. So the word Egypt means house of bondage. The word bondage means slavery. So he said, I brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. So now we know that the word Egypt means slavery. So when we go back now to Deuteronomy 28 and 68 and read it in context, let's try it again. It says, and I will bring thee into slavery, or the house of bondage, again with ships. So we can go into the transatlantic slave trade and see how they scattered us among the nations. Okay? By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And, okay, so what it's saying is, by the way whereof, so the way we went into this slavery, you've never seen it before in history, and you're never going to fucking see it again in history with us. And you guys try and act like, oh, well, that's happened to everybody. And that's the reason why it's written this way. Because you know you can't deny the truth. And it's never happening to us again. But you guys get prepared for everything that you did to us to have a double portion. So I'm not saying the ships aren't going to be taken away. I'm saying that Israelites aren't going to be doing that. This says, and by the way whereof I speak unto thee, to the Israelites, because this is a curse on Israel right now. Thou shalt see it no more again. So the way we went into slavery, you'll never see it before like that in history, going on these slave ships, and you're never going to see Israel after that in history. And by the way, you'll never see it again. Thou shalt see it no more again. So that is a sign, that is a symbol. This prophecy being fulfilled marks us as the true Hebrew Israelites, not the black Hebrew Israelites, the 100% true Hebrew Israelites. And that's the Great Awakening right there. Just knowing that just that little piece of breakdown, knowing that he's marking us in the scripture, saying, I'm not going to do this one to you guys. I'm only doing it one time, so they know exactly who I'm talking about. So, by the way whereof I speak unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. It's talking about the way we went into slavery. You'll never see it before like that in history. You're never going to see it again like that in history when it comes to the true Israelites. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies. So what do? They have auction blocks, and they sold us butt-ass naked, poking and prodding us like livestock. And it says, for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. So what it means by bondmen and bondwomen, you're going to be slaves. And no man shall buy you. Oh, see, you are selling yourself as slave. See? This is why you're not allowed to read our book anymore. This is why we yell at you when you even try to break down the scripture, and then we don't let you finish what you're saying because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's saying that no man shall set you free. And you know what? In the Levitical law, if my brother was a slave, I could go down and purchase his freedom. In other words, what is my brother a slave for? Well, he owes me 25 shekels of silver. Well, here's 26 shekels of silver. I want to take my brother now. Well, that's a done deal. He's paid in full. You may buy your brother's freedom. But in this slavery, I'm a slave right next to my brother, so I wouldn't be able to buy him. Also, if you ever watched the movie Django Unchained, it clearly shows that you could buy the freedom of a slave, and no man would ever buy you. Even the guy that bought Jamie Foxx's freedom in that movie, and he was helping him. He said, now you've got to help me kill all these people, right? So he didn't really buy his freedom. He gave him an option. You've got to risk your life with me to go and get all these fugitives that are wanted by the actual law in that time. So they were going in and they were taking it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The point is he had to do this stuff to gain his real freedom. So he did have his freedom, and it's called Freeman Papers. Why do you think in the Boondocks the grandpa's name was Freeman? There was. I almost wonder about people sometimes. Are you guys awake, or is the Most High still got the slumber on you? Okay, so now we understand that. Now we know that they put us in hardcore bondage slavery. Let's go back to Revelation chapter 11. I'm going to have to change the name of this class. See, every time I go to do a class, I haven't got to any of the precepts yet. I haven't done one precept out of my notes. I got a whole book. I might do this class tomorrow and just stick with what I'm going with right now. Pick up tomorrow. But let's go back to Revelation chapter 11. And I'm going to read 7 again. Actually, I'm going to skip. I'm going to go right to 8. So, and their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where our Lord was crucified, where also our Lord was crucified. And well, how do we didn't crucify the Lord in America? You saying that because you guys are saying that Sodom and spiritual Sodom and Egypt is America. I know it. And you say secret Babylon's America. So we didn't crucify Jesus in America. Yeah, you did. You changed his name. You changed his identity. You changed the whole damn Bible in the name of Jesus. Are you crazy? You crucified the whole book. And that goes into Revelation 22, 18, and 19. Change any words? He's gonna fucking rearrange you. Watch. Read it for yourself. He's gonna add the plagues to you, and then he's gonna kill you. So let's keep going. So, and their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Yes, you crucified the whole damn Bible here. Now let's go back a little bit. Why is it spiritually called Sodom and Egypt? Well, spiritually, I mean, this is the place where sodomy was legalized. Now it's a law. You have to teach it to your kids and everything. So that's spiritual Sodom right there. How about Egypt? Well, where were we sent? This is the house of bondage. I still can't leave if I want to. I can't just go to Canada and buy a house and get a job. They're going to want to know my credentials. I can't go to Mexico. Maybe in Mexico, I don't know. If I have enough money, wait a second, now I need to have all this money, and Canada too. I can't just go out there. And once the Americans figure out I left the country, they're going to ask me, who told me? They're going to tell me that I didn't have permission to leave the country. I didn't get a visa. I'm like, wait 1 second here. So I have to get a visa to travel outside of the country? So no, we're still slaves to this day. To this day. I literally would have to get a hall pass when I was a kid to go to the bathroom. Now I'm a grown-up. I have to get a visa and a passport to leave the country. And then I have to tell them how many days I'm going to be gone. I'm going to have to tell them when I'm leaving, when I'm coming back, what I'm going to be doing, where I'm going to be traveling there. And I got to tell them every single thing that I'm going to do, a whole itinerary. You're telling me that's freedom? Hell no. How in the real world of anything is that freedom? We live on literally a slave planet right now. We're living in a slave. Earth is completely enslaved. And Yahweh Shem Shai is looking at us. And you can see it in the vibration of the people. But let's keep going. So, now we know what spiritual Sodom and spiritual Egypt are. This is the land of sodomy and the land of bondage, the land of slavery. We're not allowed to leave. Verse 9. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half. Going back, now why was I bringing up slavery earlier? That 3 days and a half, well, I was talking about Deuteronomy 28:68 and building up to it, and telling you everything about it. Well, that 3 days and a half is that slavery. So he told you in Deuteronomy that you were going to be put in slavery on ships. And in verse 9 of Revelation chapter 11 and verse 7 through 9, it shows you, and I'm going to show you right here, and they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half. 350 years of hardcore bondage slavery, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. So all the nations are in on it. All the kindreds, all the tongues, they're all in on it. And not suffering our bodies to be put into graves is them not allowing us to regain our culture, put our families back together, give us back our laws, our statutes, our direct commands. In fact, to make it even worse during this time, they made it illegal. Oh, if you want to hide something from a nigger, you've got to put it in a book. Why? Because we've made it punishable by death to read the Bible and any other book at that. So you're not allowed to read a book at all. But it was punishable by death if you were caught reading the Bible, for sure. That was the book they were trying to stop from production. And that goes into 2 Maccabees 6 and 6, where they made it illegal for us to keep the holy days, to keep the feast days, to keep the Sabbaths, or to profess ourselves at all to be a Jew. What are they doing now? I mean, Putin literally came out and showed you guys who you are. You had to have slave master do it, but you know what? It is what it is. At least the Most High is using him to wake you guys up. So right now, though, the 3.5 days is over. That's why I'm telling you, well, Putin said this, Putin said that, but you're just talking about slavery. Yeah, because we went into hardcore bondage slavery for 350 years, and now that hardcore bondage slavery is coming to an end. We're all still slaves, but we're allowed to freely walk through the streets. I can go to pretty much do anything within a certain area that I want. But when I start traveling to different states, different countries, you'll see how your freedom starts to shrink down. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get back into the point. So I'm going to read 9 again, and I'm going to read 10. And they of the people, kindreds, and tongues, and nations shall see their dead bodies. Why are we dead? Because we're spiritually dead now, because they've beat the fucking culture out of us. So that's why it says dead bodies. There's not a bunch of dead bodies laying around, they're just happy about it. They see us spiritually dead, we don't know who we are, running around like a bunch of fools, like unto this day, twerking on everything, jumping on cars, twerking. Somebody's fighting, you want to twerk on them. Somebody makes you mad, you start twerking on them. That's the women. The men, now the men are turning into women, or they're straight thugs. Or they're both thug loving. I mean, but still, none of you motherfuckers are righteous. And that's why the Most High is going to take your asses out. And it sucks. It makes me sad. I'm more scared to talk to my own fucking people than anybody else, because I'm afraid they're going to pop off and try and kill me for it. Why? All I want to do is show you that you're an Israelite. The 3.5 days is over. That time is up. So let's read that. So they that dwelt upon the earth rejoiced over them, making merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these 2 prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth. So what did they do? They exchanged us as gifts. So when they were exchanging gifts, all your fucking pagan holidays, guess what? It required child sacrifice. That goes with Christmas, that goes with Easter, that goes with anything they did. You want to go on a picnic. Look up what the word picnic means. It means pick a nigga and hang him from a tree. Everything they did required us to be a sacrifice. Even the stupidest things. So, but I was telling you, Putin showed us who we are, right? And that we should be waking up, right? And the 3.5 days are over, right? Well, let's keep reading then and see if I'm right. This is verse 11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Yahweh entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. Guess where we're at right now? Where are we at right now? We're at the point where great fear is falling upon all the nations. Everybody's doing everything they can to shut us up, and all we're doing is prophesying their demise, and they know it. They know that their time has not up. Their time has come to an end, and now they know that the end is here, and they're taking drastic measures on everything they do. Everything they do. They can't even call it a storm anymore. A cyclone death storm. It's always got to involve some kind of fear factor in it. But, like I said, after 3 days and a half, after the 350 years, they let us go back into society as these slaves. And the first thing that happened was, how about this? The Honorable Abu Bivens. First thing that happened was we started making a bunch of money. We started our own Black Wall Street. We started our own communities. We started thriving over them Quicker than they could look up, we were building like our own cities instantly. Doctors, lawyers, pharmacists. We had our own everything our own. And what they do, they came in and made so when you go to New York, that used to be an all-black community, which you guys now call Central Park. That's why when you go in there, oh, we found a house in there. Yeah, because they fucking tore the fucking place down. They took all of that out, and that's where all the black people live, and turned it into a national park. They bombed Black Wall Street, where we're making all the money. They took various other places and literally filled them up with water and drowned everybody, and now they're lakes. And now these lakes are starting to recede. And guess what? All these houses are underneath. Oh, there's houses under there. Where did those come from? What time era was that? Well, they know exactly what it's from. It's from them burying us underwater after they go in and massacre us and burn down the place and then turn it into a lake. So, after the 3.5 days, the Spirit of life entered into them, and they stood upon their feet. So now what happens? We're allowed to read books again, bro. And this book says that I'm these people. And so that's their greatest fear, is that we're going to figure out that we're the real Israelites, and they're sitting in our seat calling us liars, holding on to all of our stuff, including our identity. So of course you're going to be scared. Of course. Let's jump around now. Let's jump around. I think that was a great little story. Let's move around a little bit now. And yes, now we're at the spot where these people are scared right there, stiff in their seats. And so I'm gonna get Revelation 1:8. I am the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, saith Yahweh, which is and which was and which is to come, the Almighty. That's beautiful. So he's the beginning. He created everything. And he's the end, because he's coming back to destroy everything. Okay? And there's no getting around it. So that goes into, and I got it right here. So let me get I'm going to get this other precept in 1 Corinthians, but I want to bring out Deuteronomy 32 and 39. But let me get 1 Corinthians first. Let me get 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 35. And it reads, and this is beautiful, because it's going back into us waking back up, right? This is beautiful. This is beautiful. So I'm glad I didn't bring out Deuteronomy 32 and 39, because I said that after the 3 days and a half, they shall rise up and stand on their feet, and then great fear falls upon the people. We're at that point of great fear. Well, over in 1 Corinthians, it says in verse 35, but some man will say, how are the dead raised up again? And with what body do they come? Ooh, isn't that beautiful? How do the dead rise up again? But I already showed you. It's the Spirit of Yahweh entering into us. So when you read these scriptures, a spirit comes over you, and you start understanding things on a whole different level. It changes the way you think and live. If Yahweh is dealing with you, you immediately have no control. But staying with the point, it says, how are the dead raised up? And with what body do they come? So, this is this is how the dead are raised up. This is one of my favorite scriptures too. This is Deuteronomy 32 and 39. Whoops. This is and it reads, see now that I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill I make alive, I wound, I heal, neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. For I lift up my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. You ain't messing with them. So when you're asking questions like, how are you going to rise up the dead? Well, honestly, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai could physically take a dead body and pull it out of the grave. But in Revelation, it's going to get into, I'm going to show you, he's really talking about, like, he's going to put the spirit of the truth back into them. And then they can start living back according to their culture again. So, and it says, I kill and I make alive. So who quickeneth the spirit? Yahweh. So if he's putting that spirit back in you, that also relates perfectly. I make alive. And the spirit came into them, and the people saw him, and they were afraid. So now, right now they're afraid because they know where that spirit is coming from. It says so in Deuteronomy 32 and 39. I kill and I make alive. Well, it's time for the children of Israel to be alive again. That means it's time for us to wake up. So now let's go back into let's go back to Ezekiel. Now I'm getting ready to close out. Oh man, no, I can't now. It's about to get good. Chapter 37. And let's go to verse 4. Again he said unto me, prophesy unto these bones. You know what? Let me start at verse 1, Ezekiel 37 and 1. The hand of the Lord was upon me, and carried me in the spirit out of the Lord. And carried me out in the spirit of the Lord. So, the hand of Yahweh was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of Yahweh, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones, and caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, there were many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, can these bones live? And I answered, Lord, thou knowest. He said, man, you can do all this. That goes back to Deuteronomy 32 and 39, but let me keep going. Again, he said to me, prophesy to these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh unto these dry bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. So, I'm going to stop right there for tonight. I think that is beautiful. Right there. I'm going to stop right there for tonight. He said unto the dry bones, both I will cause breath to enter into you, and you shall live. And wait. I guess I'll read 6 too. And I will lay sinews upon you, and I will bring up flesh upon you, and I will cover you with skin, and I will put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh. So he's going to put the spirit of life back into him, that 100% truth. He's going to cover him in the truth. He's going to, and that goes into the corrupt has to put on incorruption, and mortal has to put on immortality. So let's go back into Ezekiel chapter 37. It's beautiful because these people think they're bad right now. They think they're the roaring lion right now and nothing can stop them. They're their own little mafia movie. It's beautiful. And while they're all over here thinking that they're ruling the world, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai's over here with us saying, okay guys, I need everybody to wake up now. All my men, I need you back out there in the field. Everybody hands on the plow. It's time to put in the work. and they see us all coming out. And the more they try to stop us, the stronger we get. And let me read 7. So I prophesied as I was commanded. Ooh, like, you know what? This conversation, you just can't make it up. I'm saying things and the next verse is coming out. It's like, so I prophesied as I was commanded, and I prophesied, and there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone, and when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came upon them, and skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. Now here, listen carefully. Listen carefully, guys. This is the most important part right here. Where were we at? Oh man, it took me all the way out. Oh man, it just told me the book of Ezekiel only had 34 chapters and we were just reading out of 37. You talk about a computer trying to stop you. All right, let's keep going. All right, so like I said, here we go, prophesy. So let's get it. And then he said unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith Yahweh, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army. And so I'm gonna I want to stop right there for today, because I want to finish this. Maybe I should just keep going. I don't want to lose everybody's interest so in the middle of the class. But anyway, that's beautiful. So we prophesy. The wind are the Israelites passing by that don't know who they are. And then when they hear the word and the Most High is dealing with them, what happens? They wake up. And the breath that prophet that you're prophesying, and they hear it, and the breath of life goes into them, and they're like, what? So that happened to me twice today. Twice. First, this woman, I had to go get my kids some new shoes. They're growing so quick, their feet are busting out the front. So we're down there in this. A woman was, I forget how the conversation started, but I told her, I just went right in on her and told her that you are the seed of your father, because everybody's like, because we got into the conversation of black Hebrew Israelites. And she's a white woman. I think that she's a Jake, but she's white. And then my family comes in, and we're the whole ass, we're from fucking white to black. All my kids came out just a little bit different. And my youngest son came out looking just like his mom, who is a Gadite with white skin. So guess what? When I told her about the black Hebrew Israelites, I had to explain to her that you were the seed of your father. And being able to look at my wife and children, you can see that no matter where you plant an orange seed, you're going to get an orange tree. No matter where you plant an apple seed, you will get an apple tree. You can even pluck the orange tree up and plant an apple seed in its place, and a tree is going to pop up. And it's definitely going to be an apple tree because you planted an apple seed. So it goes into, so now the metaphor is over. So my bloodline comes from me. My children all look a little bit different, but they're all on that same bloodline. So you might grow an apple tree and get apples all over the world. They all might look a little different. You got different strands of the same apple. So my children are all the same as me. They're my bloodline. So they're the seed of their father. Whether they look what you consider, well, you have to look like Wesley Snipes, or no, you have to look like a rabbi. You gotta look like the rabbi, or back and forth. It's like, can't you guys tell by now that was by design to keep everybody going back and forth on this color thing. But when she realized what I was saying, and she was like, what? And I was just like, yeah, man, because I told her, Putin showed the picture, goes, oh, yeah, he did. And then she really started thinking about it. She goes, wait a second, he did do that. And then when we were getting into the subject of Putin, and then I brought out 1 Maccabees 3:48, where the heathens sought to, they sought to open up the book of the law, where they opened up the book of the law where the heathens sought to paint the likeness of their own image. She heard that, and she was like, damn, I haven't heard that verse. And I said, that verse is in the Apocrypha. The word Apocrypha means secret document, not for public use. Let me say it again. The word Apocrypha means secret document, not for public use. So I explained to her that these books, this 500 plus years that was removed from the Bible, is in a book that's named Apocrypha, which means secret document. And she was like, what? And then she started hearing all the precepts out of the secret document book. She's like, I want to go back home and study. You made me want to study. And in all the years, I haven't heard that once ever. And that was the first time I heard it, and it was today. And it was the most beautiful thing. And there was another guy downstairs, because I told him I'd come back. You know how the guys sell at the kiosk, the stuff to clean your shoes? And since I was buying my kids shoes, I thought, man, I got to help my brother out. I mean, he's sitting up there at that kiosk all by himself. So we struck up a conversation, and I told him, you're most likely Judah. And he goes, oh, I know I'm Judah. I know I'm Judah. And what happened was he felt guilty. He felt guilty because the spirit of life is coming back into all the Israelites. And the ones that forbear the ones that reject the Most High are going to be destroyed. The ones that pull closer and start coming back to the truth, those people are going to be spared. But what he said, though, at the end, it made me realize other people have been talking to him. He said, man, thank you for reminding me. I needed to hear that today. So the Most High already had him prepared to hear this message. You see how the beautiful harmony of prophesying to the wind? It's not just about being on YouTube. I love being on YouTube. It's great. We're on YouTube, whatever. And we can reach more people that way. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, like I tell you in every class, be instant in season and out of season. How do you do that? How are you going to build this great army, in other words? When I take the tunic off, I'm not walking around with my tunic wrapped up in my back pocket like fucking Superman. Oh, I want to talk about the word. Hold on, let me get a camera. Motherfucker, you the camera. That's stupid. Nobody should be doing that. And nobody in GMS does that. If they so happen to catch a conversation, that's one thing. But you don't see anybody going out of their way to try to spark up a video. I mean, not like that. Not like that. So, of course, we want to make videos all the time. I love making videos. I've been having problems with my phones, everything. But the truth is that when you take this tunic off, you still got to be, like I said, instant in season. You still got to be willing to have that same energy. That's what I like to say in the streets. You got to bring that same energy. Well, when I take this tunic off, I'm bringing that same energy. I might even start I've been breaking out scriptures for the last 3 days on every single person that made eye contact with me, except for one dude today. Or yesterday or today, I saw one of my old friends. And the Most High didn't allow me to speak to him. And he's a brother too, but he's, I can't say what he does. I can't say anything about him. It's just like let's just say he had a pentagram on his shirt. He rides with a motorcycle gang now, and he's not a prospect. He's in the gang. So and it's a very popular motorcycle gang. So I was just like, I was taken back, honestly, because there's nothing I can say to that dude at this point. He's already made his decision in life of which direction he's going to go. It's not like you're not pulling out of it. No, don't. Let me get my glasses back on. So, but I've been seeing various people, but today, the people I saw was like, I needed to hear that. Oh, I want to go home and study. But I told you, the people that forbear, I couldn't, most I wouldn't even let me talk to them. And it made me really sad inside because, there's those people that you really want to bring the word out to, and the Most High is like, nope. He made his decision. So, let me read 10 again, and then we're going to close out there. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived, and they stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army. The people standing up upon their feet, that's talking about the prophets. Every time a prophet hears the word, he starts prophesying. And then you got somebody that doesn't even know he's a prophet in the world. He's going to hear what you have to say, and he's going to come out of the world and he's going to be right there with you, or he's going to be with one of these groups. Most High willing, it's GMS, and the Most High is really dealing with you. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Waha, Rakah, Wadash. I'm talking about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I hate using the term Most High. I almost never use the word God. Babylonian deity of financial increase. So we're going to stop there for today. We're going to stop there. So the Great Awakening is the Most High putting the 100% truth back in us, showing us that all this time, all these prophets out there have been telling you the truth. So now it's time to take hold of the truth. For all of you that are sincere, take hold of the truth. Don't let them lie to you. Remember, they're spending their time changing the Bible. They want to give you an AI Bible. And so we'll get that one, and then we'll close out. Because we're not going to let them, we just can't let it. I got to remind you every time. They're taking the truth and compromise it. When you compromise the truth, that means you've changed the words of this book. So you add to it, you take it away from it, let me get it. This is Revelation 22:18. For I testify unto every man that heareth the word of the prophecy of this book, if any man shall add unto these things, Yahweh shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. That's scary. We've already lived these plagues. You sure you want to be one of them Christian church pastors and just go ahead and add plague on plague? And then add plagues to the whole flock? Well, let me check. Let's read 19. If any man shall take away from the word of the book of this prophecy, Yahweh shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. So he'll take your ass out, bro, and you won't get to enjoy any of the spoils. You've already suffered the curses. Get your act together. Call upon the name in your captivity and repent from your sins. And if you've got eyes to see and ears to hear, I hope you got something out of this message. Shalom. Also, one more thing. First and foremost, Kal Halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Waha, Rakwa, Kadash, Rakah, Kadash. Shalom.